She told me a lot about herself, her childhood, all the different careers. She said she couldn't find a man to satisfy her. She said she couldn't find a man to satisfy her either. Wow, a general wow came from us. In anticipation, hooked up together like a rope. To satisfy her, White hunched Basil so sharply that Basil ooghed in drunken pantomime like it hurt. It did, but he was too drunk to care.
Can't hear you.
So you naturally volunteered for that gig, I chuckled. Yeah, Norman was grinning now, a strange light in his eyes. Yeah, I volunteered all right on the goddamn spot. My pecker was starting to rise like the fucking flag on the 4th of July. So we get to her place, you know. She lives on 4th Avenue. Hey, you know they're going to call that Park Avenue South in a little while. Fuck them, wife spat. It's 4th Avenue, not no fucking Park Avenue South. Fucking A. Tweedy. Basil witted us with his affirmation. Come on with the story, Norman. It was Dominic, maybe thinking Norman's ending would be so weak it would give the whole thing up as bullshit. Norman never even looked at him. He rasped at John through the opening of his lips. Buy the loud guy a drink on me. Where on 4th Avenue? You know the building that looks like a convent or a tourist attraction in the old European village? Yeah. By the bookstore across from the post office? Yeah. Hey, that's a pretty heavy looking building. What's the goddamn rent in there? She says she pays $450 a month. What? And this was the early 60s when that was even further out than it is today. $450? Geez, what's in that goddamn place? Hey, it's worth it. The inside of the joint is no quaint shit. It's super modern. Norman used the French pronunciation, moderne, so the whole effect was got. And get this, there's a goddamn doorman inside, but we go around to a back entrance on Broadway she's got a key for, go to an elevator, and get this, the elevator only stops at her floor. Everybody was now sufficiently impressed on the real side. I pressed, you mean everybody in that joint got their own elevators? I don't know. She says she don't know either, but she has. Wow. So we slide right in and up. The elevator door opens right into her apartment, yeah? And it's laid out gorgeous, rugs everywhere, not the wall to wall, but different Indian and Persian rugs, Oriental rugs in different parts of a hardwood floor. She's got modern furniture in some room, old antiques in others, glass and leather and plastic shit some places, wood and easy chairs other places. The living room is modern. She's got paintings everywhere. Any of yours? Yeah, she had a big orange painting that Costelli sold last year. It's called Orange Laughter. But she had a Klein, Augustine, a big de Kooning woman, a fucking Larry Rivers naked woman, like the one he did to Frank with the dangling pecker. No, it was more modest. Norman was being ironic. Hey, she had a Frankenthaler, a goddamn Rauschenberg, a Jasper Johns. What the hell is this woman? A goddamn art buyer? Basil. She just got money, fool. Why? Art buyers got money. I said, she told you she saved money? Ho, ho, ho. No, she's loaded. It's maybe an 8-room apartment, a couple of bedrooms, a guest room full of a full kitchen, books, records, big Fisher components, speakers in all the rooms. She pushed the button and there's a goddamn Morty Feldman piano concerto on. Fat ass Morty. So what happens, man? Shut up, you guys. We listen to Morty, we listen to Earl Brown, John Tudor, John Cage, Monk, we drink, we talk, the view is great, we lay in front of a goddamn fireplace, she even played some Basie and we danced, we talked, and then we got undressed on the floor. What a body. Everybody was pushed forward now, heads thrust at Norman like they could see the big pretty breasts and round peach-like behind, the long blonde hair draped around her when she let it down, cushioning her head and neck and back, and the downstairs hair yellow too, and the odor coming out of her. Norman almost sung about her like some goose-pimpling eau de cologne called "Fuck Me Now Immediately, Daddy, do not dally any further." So we did it. So we did it first on the floor. She undressed like her clothes were burning her, but it was sexy, mate, I tell you. And there she was, and in a few seconds, there were you, I shot in. Yeah, laughter. And what is there to say about big thighs pulling open of their own accord, and eyes hot as a weird blue stove? Wow. A couple hours later, we go again. She's quieter now, but clings real tight. She even dug her nails in my back just a little when the whistle blew. Yeah, we whistled and beat on the chairs. Yeah, Norman, tell it, white wobble. And then, just before we go to sleep, it's about 2 now, she tells me a little saying her mother told her. It went, no matter how much you might get hurt, there's love that can heal you. Was it good, Norman? Basil smirked. It was very, very good. Exquisite body, and she knew what she was doing. She knew all the right spots. No matter how much you might hurt, I repeated, there's love that can heal you. Yeah, I felt good. Hey, it was heavenly, heavenly. And then she sang a little song, some kind of folk tune. Maybe it was European, I don't know. I thought it was Mother Goose or something. No words, just humming and a kind of refrain she repeated. Hey man, that sounds great. Whitehead stood up, straight to speak, getting as sober as he could for the official congratulations. Heavy stuff, young Norman, I added. Hooray for Norman, Basil sputtered. Not only do people buy his paintings, but he gets to fuck beautiful girls that sing, for Christ's sakes. This tickled Dominic. And then Norman looked at us with another thing in his face and voice. Yeah, it was good. I thought it was beautiful, the fire and all. I even picked her up and carried her and laid her in the big bed. Hey, that's a line from Frank Yerby, I kibithed him admiringly. So, Frank Yerby. Yeah, Norman puffed and puffed on the cigarette now. And John had a big smile, pulling his head up and down, slowly affirming the reality of the tale. But then I went to the window, finished another bourbon, and smoked a Gauloise, and looked down at 4th Avenue. It was that cool, huh? Yeah. And after that, I went and lay down beside her in the little night light. I could still see how beautiful she was, and I thought, shit, it's my fucking lucky period, goddamn. So I lay out. I was painting pretty good. Another show in a couple of months, a couple of bucks in my pocket, and this fantastic sweet thing next to me in the half dark. Wow. Norman got another drink and pulled himself straight. Wow. Yeah, wow, he said, his eyes clouding over like a windshield without a defroster on a suddenly frosty day. And then about an hour and so later, I guess, I was sleeping, and I don't know, I just felt something just got in me. Something woke me up. And I opened my eyes, raised up a little in bed. My eyes had to get used to the half dark, but I noticed too that Monica's also raised up in bed, full up. My eyes focus and I can suddenly see her. She's sitting there, man, straight up in bed, and she's got a pair of scissors held up in the air. And now she can see that I see her, and our eyes meet. What? It came from all of us at once, and the word just hung a second in the whistling smoke, half crumpled and half floated to the floor. What? But I could see that Norman wasn't lying. He wasn't. And now he was repeating the last part again, so it could really penetrate. Yeah, she was sitting there in the dark with a pair of fucking scissors. Why? Basil finally asked, almost sober now. We looked at each other and at Norman. Norman coughed from the smoke in his face, the cigarette still dangling, his eyes playing over us, convincing us without the least opposition. What you mean, why? He was saying. How the fuck would I know? I sure as hell wasn't staying around to find out. We all finally let it go, the caged up air, the surrogate terror in it, and even an inch of curious delight. Norman's eyes glowed a little and he grinned, the grin of the escaped hunter. A cold glaze replaced his living eyes, and the ice of death came into his face. The cigarette should have dropped, but it was stuck to his bottom lip, even with his mouth hung open. What's happening? The rest of us looked at Norman, then turned to look over her shoulder. There was a blonde woman now standing just inside the bar's entrance. She began to walk toward us. I thought, hey, now Norman's slip-up is coming right straight out with the lying shit. But Norman looked ashen. I didn't think a mere lie could do that. We were all starting to grin. I guess it had also occurred to the others too that what Norman had told us was really a well-told lie. And now here was the chick in person to uncover the lie. But before our smiles would tumble into place and replace our quizzical stares, Norman's ashen silence transmitted a howl of deep fear to us all, not lightweight bullshit. So when we looked at the woman striding straight toward us, unnoticed by the rest of the raucous barflies, what we saw made us all believers forever in all the unknown spaces of terror, the blankness between the stars. The bitch still had a pair of scissors in her hand. Okay. And as she came toward us, she held them up and waved them slowly back and forth like a wand. But they were covered, even dripping, with very flesh blood. 1981.